listen, never in my life associated the word boring with baseball.
We know what's up.
Me? Yeah. Famous? Yeah.
And I'm like giddy over there smiling like, we're about to win this shit.
Did everyone give you crap? Give me a good host story.
I'm not picking it up.
We both love the game.
We talk about it every day.
Getting on baseball.
Having some popcorn, you're fooling around your phone.
I'd have to wait in line for 3 hours.
Hang on, because it's about to be a wild ride.
There's no human being on the planet I'd rather be talking to right now than Jake Burger. It's fact, and I always appreciate you coming by. I always appreciate our conversations. I always appreciate you seeing you at dinner. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
That was the nicest.
Yeah.
That was the nicest steakhouse I've ever been to, and I'm not going. I'm
by
only
far.
Yeah, I'm on. I mean, you know who paid? I didn't pay. But one of the great things, I don't know if I talked to you about this. One of the great things about that dinner was how many people tried to fake pay. This is Joe Kelly was paying.
Yeah.
This was our quote unquote book celebration. It was at, what was it, Chicago Cut?
Chicago Cut, yeah, right on the river there.
Right on the
Chicago.
river,
Yeah.
right. We saw you and your wife,
Yeah.
and we do the fake pay thing. You ever do the fake pay thing?
Yeah, especially with Joe. You
Oh,
know?
really?
You're like,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Feeling for the wallet.
Yeah. And so we're like, okay. And my wife is literally breaking my arm, saying, no, you are not paying for this. Joe's paying for it. Anyway, it was great to see you then. It's always great to see you, Jake. So I want to formally say that we want Baseball Isn't Boring. We want your foundation, the Burger Family Foundation, to be the official foundation for Baseball Isn't Boring. We want to do everything possible to help the cause. We want to do everything we can because this is one of the great things, the power of baseball, the power of relationships, the power of all this, and you're taking advantage of it. So to start with, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
On Penelope and your family. I do want you to explain your foundation so that I don't butcher it.
Yeah.
And also so we can have a documented thing where we say, when we push this out, say, this is what the Baseball Isn't Boring Chief Foundation is.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. So for those that don't know, Penelope, my daughter, was born with Down syndrome. That's why I'm wearing number 21 on the field this year, and for the foreseeable future. Trisomy 21 is the clinical diagnosis of what Down syndrome is. And so my wife and I felt a calling to the Down syndrome community, obviously, with Penelope's diagnosis. And for us, we want to help as many people out there, as many families, as many adults with Down syndrome and disabilities in general. And for us, I was starting a foundation, and it's the Burger Family Foundation. It's kind of a two-pronged approach right now. Number one being Pens Pearls, which basically all money coming in is going to go out to help families with, whether it's a medical expense, a therapy expense, even paying for a babysitter or something, so they can get out of the house, that somebody's very specialized in Down syndrome. And so that's kind of the first approach, is just direct financial support for families with children with Down syndrome. And then our second portion is the Lucky Ranch. And for me, with my 2 Achilles injuries, it was always getting outside made me feel better. And so for me, I want to create a place, a safe haven for all these kids with different disabilities, whether it's autism or Down syndrome, whatever it may be, to get outside, get in nature, work with plants, work with animals. And so this ranch basically going to have therapists on it to help with different types of therapies, whether it's PT, OT, any of the T's there.
Yeah.
But
it's in Tennessee.
It's going to be in Tennessee, yeah.
Exactly.
And we want it to be kind of a safe haven for people around the country to be able to come and, either get their therapies and stuff there for their children, or for adults to kind of have a job and, help on the ranch, be a ranch hand. And, long-term goal there is going kind of farm to table restaurant as well, where we can employ adults with disabilities and, kind of help them have that financial stability backing them, and then also have some really good food and some locally grown food.
So meat and potatoes, that was a terrible segue into locally grown food, but meat and potatoes. Meat and potatoes is how, if we're gonna say this is our primary foundation, which I'm so happy to do this, but I want to do it impactfully. Like, so how can listeners, how can people who are consume this brand impact what you're doing with your foundation?
Yeah, so right now we have some apparel stuff up on our website that all of that is going directly to that Pins Pearl fund that I was talking about. So that's probably the most direct way. We have a donation page on it, and nobody needs to feel obligated to donate, but it's greatly appreciated always. And then kind of looking forward, we have a softball game that's going to be at the Sound Stadium in November.
Okay.
So it'll be something. There's a lot that goes into it that we're going to release about it, but there's going to be it's going to be a really cool event, and just kind of raising as much money as we can for the foundation and to help as many people as we can.
So I love events like that, and so I look forward to talking about why I'm thinking about this, because I just talked to a former teammate of yours, Giolito, right? And we were talking about another former teammate of yours, Dylan Cease. Yeah. And one of the things that we kept saying was, Dylan has the disc golf thing.
Yeah.
How we cannot have a disc golf tournament in a ballpark is beyond me.
Right.
And that is a goal for this year. And now I am so locked into it. This is what we're going to do. Yeah. This is what we're going to do for the foundation. I mean, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
that'd be sweet.
I'm right. I mean,
I'm not a disc golfer, but
who is?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
but still, it's like the fact is, it just makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So the ideas are popping.
For sure.
How to come back to? You talked about your wife and yourself having this calling. Obviously, life is full of unexpected twists and turns. When you basically have the blessing of your daughter, what is the first thing that jumps to mind for you? Is it like, hey, can you spring right into this? Would your wife and yourself spring right into this? Yeah,
I mean, obviously, when we got the diagnosis, we were, I don't know, for me, it was one of those things where I'm like, you know what, this is God's blessing, and, this is going to be a beautiful life. And my wife had the same thought, and for us, I think we're in such a unique world where we have a platform, and we want to use that platform for good. And we know that we're fortunate and grateful to have a lot of resources to be able to help Penelope in her therapies, and for us, using that platform and trying to give as many resources to as many families as possible to help them through this journey. And children with Down syndrome, adults with Down syndrome are some of the most joyful individuals that you'll ever meet. And I think that needs to be celebrated, and no better way to do that than help out everybody that we can.
When you're coming up playing baseball, you want to be good at baseball. You want to make the major leagues. And you're right. I mean, this is what we're talking about. Like, not to get too sappy, but this is one of the great things about baseball, right? Yeah. You meet a lot of people. There's a lot of different people. Like that was, and when you're younger, like you said, you went through your own adversity with Achilles stuff. But I don't know, like if even before this happened, if you saw an example of this, of baseball helping people. Yeah,
I mean, you see it like kind of all over the place, whether there's people rallying around a certain cause. You see it, after 9/11, and just baseball kind of being that sport that brings everybody back together, and you see big things happen, that are part of just living in this world, that baseball can kind of bring everybody back together. And for us, I think that's what's so beautiful about this is you always have an ex-teammate on a different team, and you always have that support. And it was really cool, just like this organization, the Rangers, have been unbelievable to my wife and I throughout this entire journey, and helping us any way they can. And that's also said about everybody else in the league, that I played with before, or never met before. They're all super supportive and have just kind of embraced it, and they've been awesome.
Yeah, I mean, the outpouring probably was pretty cool.
Yeah,
right?
It's like honestly overwhelming in a sense. Really? Of like didn't really expect it, didn't know what to expect. Yeah. And it's just been it's been unbelievable, and just puts a smile on my face every day knowing this community is going to get the love and support they deserve.
You've landed at such a good place, right? I mean, not only because you got off to a good start in the games that I've seen you play, but also the Rangers seem like just a really good fit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird because like when you were traded from the White Sox, where everyone was like, what? Like what? I think maybe we talked about it. It was a surprise, right? To everybody. You landed, you make the playoffs. What was it like when you landed with the Rangers? Obviously, this is before all these things we were talking about. What was that like for you?
Yeah, it was exciting. I know they knew they had a good team. Played them previous years, and obviously nothing but respect for the Marlins and all my ex teammates over there. Yeah. But when I got traded and got the call, it was like, all right, like let's go and try and be in the best physical shape, mental headspace that I can be, and there's one goal in mind, and it's to win the World Series, and I would take that every single day, that mentality, and that gratitude to be out here every single day with work ethic that's unmatched, and it fired me up. You look at our staff, it's electric, and you look at this lineup, it's deep 1 through 9. You feel like you can leave the yard in every single spot in that order. So it was exciting, and Texas is really similar to Tennessee where we're at, and it kind of seemed like the perfect fit.
Just baseball-wise, does it feel like after you wake your way with the White Sox and you go with the Marlins, you have some moments there? Does it feel like I found my spot?
Yeah. I mean, there's always pros and cons to every organization you play with, but I think the Rangers ownership and front office have done an incredible job here of providing every single resource possible to get the most out of you, and now it's just using it to your.
What are you
your
different?
full.
Like how are you, like in that respect? I like to get wonky. Like, did they adjust anything? Did they say we see you do this or do that?
No, I mean I think they're really good at just allowing you to be you and getting the best out of you of who you can be, and providing those resources to you. It doesn't mean you're going to use every single resource, but to make you the best Jake Burger I can be. The resources are there. Now it's just utilizing them and getting to work.
If we can, we go back to sort of helping people. I think the first time that we had talked was you were very open about mental health, and since then, since you started talking about it, I think the acceptance of it has grown exponentially.
Yeah.
A guy on your teammate or on your team right now, Chris Martin, he stepped back for anxiety issues, and I've talked to a guy who I'm very good friends with, Daniel Bard, who did the same when the Ibs came back. Like, there's accepting of this.
Yeah.
For you, have you seen that element of baseball take a step forward?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I think over the last five years or so, I feel like it's really taken off. And kind of that mentality of being accepting of it, and understanding that out there it's a jungle out there, and it can speed up on you, and even off the field it can speed up on you. So it's been really cool to see that kind of overture, and that constant working towards the ultimate goal of accepting mental health is a real issue.
Did you feel? Have you been able to? Do you feel like you've been able to talk to guys about that more?
Yeah,
in clubhouses or whatever it is, or across the field.
For sure. Yeah. No, it's. I feel like everyone's battling some sort of anxiety or anxiousness out there, and just being able to have guys that are open about it and be able to talk about it is the first step. And then it's kind of how to deal with it after that.
Well, thank you for that. The last thing is, I was doing something with Garrett Crochet the other day, and we love science, and we're trying to figure this one out. You obviously have the iconic photo that the spring training had, right?
Yep.
Where you had the sunburn when the Major League Baseball decided to have the trucker hats. How does he not? How do you get the sunburn, and how he does not?
I actually don't know the scientific reason for that.
This is one of the great mysteries of baseball. He is completely bald.
I put sunscreen on too. I don't
really?
know. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. if it's just because he's a pitcher, he's not out there for as long as we are, maybe that's what it is.
Well, I tell you what, you enacted change because they'll never do that again.
Yeah.
Right. Well, speaking of enacting change, thank you for all that you do.
Yeah.
And I look forward to this partnership, and we're going to have some good things.
Yes,
coming.
sir.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.